Thanks for sticking around. It is Mile High Magazine. Muphy Huston here, and joining us now is Vicki Mackie, the Executive Director of Sights and Insights. Hey, Vicki, welcome to Mile High Magazine today.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me.
Well, we want to know, I love doing this show. I've done it for a long time, and you think I've lived here a long time. Oh, I know everything about Colorado. I don't know anything about Colorado. Every week we have wonderful people such as yourself come in and talk about what they're doing, and this is no exception. So let's just start it off, because I may not be the only one that doesn't know about Sights and Insights. Vicki, take it away.
Okay, well, very simply, Sights and Insights, we are a 501c3 nonprofit, and I founded this in 2016. And what we do is we provide programs for any adult who has been impacted by cancer to help heal, to help heal the emotional trauma that comes along with a cancer diagnosis. Now that means patients, survivors, caregivers, and it also includes the clinical caregivers that we do programs for. And it doesn't matter what kind of cancer or where you have or are being treated or even how far out you are from your diagnosis. We have people in our programs who are newly diagnosed at 2 weeks and people who were diagnosed 20 and 30 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and so we offer a unique way of transforming the fear, anxiety, and grief and then we generate hope, motivation, and empowerment. And our programs use therapeutic art, the science of color, complementary therapies, mindful healing tools, and actually the neuroscience research to help process this life-changing experience. And we do this in a very non-judgmental environment where participants learn how to self-explore, self-discover, and then become self-aware. Now, a lot of people think because art is an integral part of our program that you need to be an artist to join our programs. Au contraire, no. And in fact, a lot of people come thinking that they're going to learn how to draw a house or a horse, and the best that I can accommodate them with is some mediocre stick figures, and that's about the extent of what I can do to help you in that area. But everything we do is abstract, and we actually teach people how to creatively and safely display their feelings and emotions, and I refer it to unstuffing the negative emotions and then stuffing back the positive emotions, which then helps heal the immune system. And I call our unique and one-of-a-kind copyrighted method mindful therapeutics through art. And that, in a nutshell, is what we do.
Well, that is fantastic. And I got to tell you, my wife and I are both cancer survivors. She's a two-time breast cancer survivor, and I'm a breast cancer survivor. And
no kidding. Wow.
Yeah, it's very rare, but men are dumb. We don't take care of ourselves enough when we get lumps and, things like that. But that's a different story for a different day. But I am curious. I'm going to back up just a little bit because this sounds wonderful. I've never even heard of such a thing, and I'm sure there is tons of cancer survivors out there. And by the way, I love the fact that you include caregivers, because caregivers sometimes are an oversight. And without caregivers, a lot of people wouldn't survive what's going on and what they're going on. Do you agree?
Oh, 110% I agree, because I'm not only a cancer survivor myself, but I'm also a caregiver. And I can, from empathy rather than sympathy, I can tell you how important it is to take care of your caregivers. And in fact, I talk to oncologists. I give some talks every once in a while for the oncologists and telling them how to take care of the caregivers to help them take care of the patients.
Absolutely. The caregivers sometimes are the overlooked people of any kind of health problem, but in particular dealing with cancer and the survival of it, no matter who it might be. And you mentioned oncologists. You work with it and talk to a lot of medical people about Sights and Insights?
Oh, absolutely. And in fact, I've been asked, I think over at the University of Colorado Hospital, I have given a talk about clinical caregivers, the oncologists, and how to take care of themselves. What are the symptoms of vicarious and secondary traumatization, and how to recognize it, and then how to take care of it. And then also I'm slated to speak at the 2024 ASCO, that's the American Society of Oncologists in Denver, and they've asked me to talk to the oncologist about listening to the patient.
Wow, that's great. That's a great topic. Holy cow. Good one indeed. So let me talk more about you, Vicki. What is your background? Because you really sound like you're into it.
Well, I've actually told people that I really didn't do this on purpose, because what happens, I actually had a very long and successful career in the corporate world. And then I finally got to the point where I said to myself, I think it's time for us to semi-retire. And, the whole time that I was in my real career, I always had side businesses of art and as a professional photographer. So I had this all planned out. I was going to semi-retire. I was going to do art and professional photography just when I wanted to do it. I had this all planned out. Well, then life happened.
Oh, yes, it does.
and it had a different plan for me, I guess. So that's the kind of where we went from there. Anyway, everything turned upside down for me, and I actually called it my perfect storm. And my perfect storm was published in a cancer magazine called Elephants and Tea in 2022. But because a series of events, including Hurricane Katrina, a series of other things that were completely out of my control, and then on top of that, I was then diagnosed with stage 3 metastatic breast cancer.
Oh, boy. Welcome to the club.
Oh, yeah, I know. Hey, I'm there with you.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah. After all of the aggressive therapies and surgeries, I was then told that it metastasized in both of my lungs.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and then my prognosis literally was very short, to say the least. In fact, my first visit with my lung oncologist, he had a form sitting on the corner of his desk that was all filled out, and he asked me if they could have my body for research.
Oh, cut it out. Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you, doctor. Oh, geez.
But guess what, Murphy?
You won.
That was 19 years ago.
Oh, God bless you. That's an amazing story. So here we are. Sites and then Sights and Insights. You started that. This was your idea.
Yeah. Well, after I went through all of that, and then I found I have air quotes. You can't see them. Coincidentally, I found myself working at a local cancer center as their program coordinator. And as I watched so many of the cancer patients and their families struggle, I started wondering why I survived when the supposed odds, of course, as you know, were against me.
Yes, they were.
I wondered if it had anything to do with the fact that when I was going through all of those surgeries and therapies and all of that, I fell back into my art and my photography, and I wondered if that had anything to do with it. So I started, I Googled everything.
Sure.
Couldn't find anything. The only thing that came close was the traditional art therapy, which is it didn't fit what I was doing. And so finally, about a year later, I finally found some classes at a university out in California that sounded something like what I might be looking for. So I took some time off from work, went back to school, and came back and started putting some of my background together with healing arts and what I had learned out there. And came back and started workshops at that clinic. And every time I put out a flyer, it turned out there would be months waiting lists to get into these classes. And I have no idea. But anyway, I also at that time, I was collecting evaluations and surveys. And even I was shocked to see the outcome data that was truly something else. I mean, I had no idea. But I did realize that I had stumbled upon something that was truly helping with the emotional trauma that came along with the cancer diagnosis.
Oh, sure.
So what else could I do?
What else could you do?
My job.
Yes, you were off and running. You were going.
I were off and running. Sights and Insights was born.
Oh, that's a great story. Vicki Mackie, who's the executive director of Sights and Insights. Talk about the programs you offer for cancer patients.
Okay, well, some of the programs that we offer they're all kind of called our Mindful Therapeutics Through Art, which include we do virtual workshops, they're full-week workshops, in-person workshops. We also do retreats. We do single classes like Contemplating Nature, which is where I've kind of incorporated my photography, and plein air programs, which is French for painting outdoors. Plus individual classes for different organizations and cancer clinics that I've designed to help the clinical caregiver with the secondary and the vicarious traumatization.
Boy, you are busy with that. So what kind of impacts have you seen? What's going on with these programs? How are people responding?
Well, I mentioned before, I started, doing surveys and evaluations in 2015 before we were even a nonprofit. And the results have been absolutely astounding, showing the positive impact on participants' mental health and their well-being in the 90 percentile across the board.
Wow.
And in fact, our method, I call it the SAI method, short for Sights and Insights, it was actually published in the ACC Issues Journal in April of last year. ACC stands for Association of Cancer Care Centers.
Wow, that's a big deal.
Yeah, I was pretty proud.
Yeah, I bet you should be pretty proud, for goodness sakes. So how do people find out about you? People listening right now, and you're talking to thousands of people that may go, hey, I can use that. What do they do?
Oh, my gosh. It's so simple. All of our programs are free to individuals who have been impacted by cancer. And we deliver or we ship all of the supplies needed at no charge. And we continue this because of donations from, hopefully thousands of people who are sitting there. But and we don't really advertise or market, so all of our advertising is simply word of mouth. And if your listeners have been impacted or know someone who has been impacted by cancer, please donate. Become involved in what we call our SAI family by volunteering. And you can go to our website. That there is a secure donate button, I think, on every single page. And if you are in need of our services, please go again to our website and register for one of our programs and become part of our Sights and Insights family. And again, that's totally free, and we'll be in touch with you and figure out what works with your schedule and what we've got coming up. Oh, and we also have 3 fundraisers coming up this year.
Oh, boy, you're busy.
Yep, a little bit.
Yeah.
June 9th, we have our Top Goss fundraiser, Swing for Cancer Survivors, over on Arapahoe Road, and August 24th, Wine, Chocolate, and Art Celebrations. And then our annual Fall Festival fundraiser, October the 6th, and that's for the whole family. It's so much fun. We have games and crafts for the kids and silent auction and hot dogs and, just a fun afternoon.
Oh, it sounds great. But now you're giving me all this information. I think you skipped by giving me the website. I need the website.
Oh my God. I can't do that.
No.
It's www. And I'm going to spell it for you because Sights and Insights is spelled differently.
Okay.
It's Sights is SITES, and you spell out and A-N-D, and Insights is INSIGHTS.org.
So it's sightsandinsights.org. That's it?
That's it.
Well, that's pretty simple. Sightsandinsights.org. I can hear ears perking up everywhere going, I'm going to check that out because that's something there for me and my family. And it's all because of you, Vicki Mackie, Executive Director of Sights and Insights. Keep up the good work. It's fantastic, and I appreciate you coming on Mile High Magazine today.
Thank you so much for having me. I so appreciate it.
And thank you guys for listening. We're here every Sunday, so that means you'll be putting up with me again next Sunday. But thanks for doing that, and thanks for listening. We appreciate it.